Do we all get like different cards, right?
Yeah, everyone has different cards, different interests.
Wow.
I took a little bit of time on this and decided to.
I don't have a pen.
Yeah, it's okay. I have pens.
Thank God, because I was very unprepared.
And I'm gonna give you. I hope I have enough blue pens. Okay, I don't have any blue pens. I have one blue pen. Wow, where did all my pens go?
Yeah, people like pens too.
People's taking my pens.
Yes, people take
I don't understand the game. As always.
No, we
So
collect
you
information.
have your thing, and then you need to ask me.
Yeah,
Do you have a nickname? And then I will tell you. Yeah, I have a
but I
nickname.
cannot ask you yes/no question.
Yes, you have to ask a little bit more.
You can ask yes or no question, but you need to
But then you need
go
to get
open
more
question,
information.
More information.
Oh.
Collect more.
You need to be an investigator.
An investigator. Who else needs a pen?
I need a pen.
Good.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I'll give a few more. Got a pen here.
Thank you.
Pen here. Covered. Cool. I think they're just arriving as well. Everyone kind of understand the gist of the game?
I think I missed the first part. Sorry for being.
Oh yeah, Jason. Sorry. So it's a bingo game, right? And what you're doing, as you can see on the card here, there's a bunch of interests. Okay. And someone like this one up here for mine, it says call greater than texting. So you like to call someone more than you like to text them.
Okay.
So the idea is to go through these and then try to find another person in here in a bingo style, right? So 3 across if you can. And basically you're going to find the other people that have these interests or things that they've done, things that they are. And then it just shows you how you can connect with someone quite easily. We'll talk about this a little bit later. And yeah, so you're just gonna write their name on this side and then a little note on this side. So like what they donated or how long they've thought they've been diagnosed with ADHD or what is it they call someone maybe once a week. It's like whatever it is, little notes, a small sentence, and yeah.
Okay. And these are based on actual responses around the table,
Yeah.
not what people have on their card necessarily.
Exactly. You're going to be asking each, and they'll be telling you their name, and then a little note based on what the conversation is. Try to keep the conversation 2 minutes or something like that.
Quick.
So, but no yes or no questions if you can. Obviously, there are some yes and no questions that happen in dialogue, but try to keep it open-ended so it's not shallow. Make a sense, Zach?
Yeah.
Let's have some fun with this, okay?
Okay, can you just tell me what's written?
Oh yeah,
Hello.
this is Hugger, so they like to hug, and this
What
one
is
is
your
anime.
name?
My name is Melita.
Yeah.
Militza, like
Okay, so we're a couple. I don't
So
think
let's-
see.
No,
It's okay.
Oh wow.
No, maybe we don't do it together. Like we are.
Yeah, exactly. Hi guys. Hello. Perfect, more people.
Yeah, just
Marina?
You don't need to sit down, you obviously can stand up and walk around.
Okay, so
This'll
let
be
me ask
fun,
you
yeah.
some questions.
Okay, we're good.
Are you ambidextrous? It means can you use
Let's be in English.
For writing? No, but for
Okay, well, actually, I'll give you-
sport or
no.
cooking?
I'm like project. Yeah, it's more like helping pen. Like one
Yes.
time
Oh,
using
you're
right.
right.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
do you like camping?
geographically? Oh yeah. Yeah, but I'm scared of bugs. I love camping.
Okay, so.
Great.
question.
Okay. Why?
I
So-
like glamping.
Glamping. Okay, but I love
There are
glamping.
things
Glamping.
Why?
Why do you love it?
Because I want to open my pen and like be in nature. Like that's
Yeah, I already have
Do you journal?
yeah, not very often. Maybe I have some powers now, but it's like yeah.
Why?
Because when I'm overwhelmed, when I have some like thoughts, and when I zoom out after a few days, I can look at them.
Yeah.
It's like more
That's they need to
Oh, you
challenge.
did this, you ate
Yeah,
this, you were
like,
three top feminist person, like,
yeah.
clap.
That's so.
I don't have the last one was like with mosquito, but before that.
I don't really like that.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
Got you.
no.
Summer.
No.
End of story. Do you like cooking?
But when no one expects. I love
we're doing
yourself.
sharing
Breakfast?
the game that we're
I
doing.
did dessert, not like so. I can say I'm good, but
That's interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's wonderful. I love this.
So, you know what bingo is?
Do you play some sports?
I heard of bingo.
Uh,
So
not
this is a
right now.
bingo for interests.
Bingo, yeah.
So
Only
people are
gym.
people
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you like dogs
Yeah, when it
or
was
cats?
That's
What
not
type of
very
person are you, dog or cat?
Cat person,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, because they have boundaries.
Yes. Oh my God, we can learn so much from dogs.
Yeah, I think people who don't respect boundaries, they love dogs more because they can.
Yeah,
Maybe
come
go
on.
back and
Yeah.
forth for a
Yeah.
second,
Cats
they
can
ask you
teach
about
you.
their
Absolutely.
thing.
When they
What
eat
do you
blah,
do
blah,
once
blah,
you
blah,
get
blah.
I love it.
funny.
Okay, last two. Do you prefer a phone call or do you prefer texting?
Yep.
Texting, I hate.
Yeah.
So this is a collective,
So
they
with-
collect
yeah.
items, they put it somewhere.
Last question. Are
They
you
make
a
it
business
well.
owner?
They listen to podcasts, like to
Yeah.
dance.
Oh,
yeah.
Or
I mean,
donated.
I'm doing my own things, online
Yes.
coaching, so
Yes.
yes.
Wow, that is like.
I like sarcasm.
Do you want to ask me some
Journal.
questions? Or do you want to swap parts?
How people calling you cooking, like
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Usually my name, Julia, but sometimes people say Julie and forget the last bit. Or
This one is
they
like-
have their
like
Russian
for-
or whatever, then they have the yes sound, so they'll say Julia. And my people
So see if you
at
can
that
try to
point
have
will be
one
Jules.
person
Jules.
per box,
You don't like that?
right? So if you have one person per box, then that's
I
perfect.
mean, if I have some, you mean, like the.
That way you can.
Similar, okay.
Yeah. What do you like drinking?
Maybe, yeah.
Tea.
I get bored with my boss.
Any herbal tea.
That's why I love traveling.
I'm a person who's already literally when I
Maybe,
do I'm shaking.
yeah.
When you
Are
do
you-
that,
Now
you're-
I
don't
See, okay, so.
I like the big
I came earlier.
So I know like
Yeah, many of them. Okay, which one?
Are you hearing
There's like two things that really have like for me, I think, then you watch them. So once you've had them, so I love the food. I like to do that. But I really like programming. So tofu, mango,
You tried pasta with and also they have amazing desserts.
Maybe twice?
But I also really like you know, like you can.
Two streets from here.
So yes, I really love. Yes, so you would
I think because I first today
And where you from? Bell? Downtown? I've met many
You can be in three-person conversations. It's okay.
You can join us?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to join you?
Yeah.
Curious
about, and I'm now looking forward to it.
Do you like anime? I love anime. Okay. Oh, good question. Good question.
Now I've come back for
Goku, of course. I'm like, sometimes I think of myself as Goku. Okay.
I am like every time.
Okay.
There is
Which one? Other sagas in Dragon Ball. I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z. But I watched Dragon Ball Z Kai and Dragon Ball Super.
That's part.
I know.
Okay. Did you watch Super?
And then the whole storyline, and then we go on goes off.
I'm like more fan of original timeline. I didn't like the GP so much. The guy is like, he loves to go to a fighter, but it's the same story. He didn't have anything more to write. Yes.
You also know like anime you can write it if you have it.
Should I write it here?
Yeah, the name is here. The name is here. And then you can like you say the show on the back.
Not far from here, maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your full name? Sam or Sam?
My full name is Sam.
I like to know people's full names.
What's your full name?
Marinko.
Oh, Marinko.
Yeah, but like, you gotta get into English, I always say to get some fully man, you know, so it's much easier for the, like, we are here for 1 month, and like, I'm trading, investing, and I'm like, okay, I'm interested in that a little bit. What can I do? Okay, I can teach English. I apply. Everyone says it's hard to find a good job. I apply for employees, they accept me. I have a really good accent, very native, and I say, yes I am, you know. Yes I am. And you're okay. Like our rate on the schools where I teach is down, less. In other ones are a lot bigger, so yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, why do you have to decide that? I always say to people, like, if you search for something, you will find a session. Like, I sent some CVs to others, except that, I'm like, okay, I can move on to
Yeah, so if you guys like if you have other people that you check, do you have only one so far? And now you have that too. But you can just like join in other conversations. It doesn't have to be like,
Well, when I first
and you can have like a three-way conversation as well. Just that way we can kind of like
and then I
make it
went
a
to
little bit
psychology.
so
Roads, roads actually
so
are
like
like
individual.
Yeah,
As soon as you
it's the
finish your
same thing.
conversation, everyone else is so it also gives you a new opportunity to learn how to get into three people conversations or two people are talking. Yeah.
When you should interrupt.
so crazy.
Yeah. It's a skill, you know?
Yeah, I'm salesman.
I am good at interruption.
So do you like to collect stuff?
Well, you won't have to put my name there twice.
Oh, okay.
So, do you prefer cats or dogs?
I like
You need to do.
I like dogs better. I like dogs better.
You should explain that to everyone because I think.
Hey guys,
Swap
so
time.
what?
No.
Yeah, you can swap, but also at the same time, I want you to try to interject into two-person conversations to give you that skill set to be able to come in. It's like, how can you kind of navigate yourself into conversations? It's a skill as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a good practice. It's not like the focus, but it's something that like don't only keep it just 2 and 2 or 1 and 1. One person per box, but also keep one person for the entire card, right? So only.
Oh, so one person posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That why you can't just talk to them the whole time and put their name on all the boxes.
I see.
Have
you do that?
We understand.
What's your name?
Russia, Kazakhstan.
I am from
Serbia.
I was in Serbia. Yeah.
When?
Yeah, I did the same thing, but I went to
Sometimes,
No,
but
it was
yeah.
from September to
Did you like it?
so
Oh yeah. You can go there like 40 minutes by train.
I know you.
I think I
Where from Serbia?
Like you have a
So what brings you into Australia?
Yeah.
It's a north part of
not
the
really, but
usually it's like
that's not
the
the
capital
sport,
of
but I
Norway.
kind of like
They
yoga,
say like
practice yoga.
of the Vojvodina. Like
Yeah.
Belgrade, the my city doesn't usually like something like it's the fourth largest city. But I like my city because it has like really good food. And I always think
It's surprisingly good.
experience Serbian culture you should do this. For sure. So
Are you a dog
do you like collecting?
That's really
Yeah.
I like rabbits. Because they're so tender, unprotected.
Maybe the only thing that I think that I
had a rabbit.
because I like earrings. It's not that I have many of that, but
Not too hot, but you're right.
That's not collector.
I'm a self-employed. I don't have a girlfriend.
Right, it's just
I'm not really a person who collects things. Yeah, so.
I don't know.
Do you play any music or
Maybe you can hold it.
what do you think?
But I
I play guitar, like I put that on the side, but I'm quite I play some German songs and
still, I go on my side.
I
It's so sweet.
I happen to do it for instruments, so I can recognize.
I was
the
in the summer, I came in May.
So do you play only chords or do you also play some solo?
I don't like technical.
Brilliant.
I can say,
But I don't
if I continue to practice, I can play with someone.
I'm kidding. I like all the like
Okay.
I think that's
Because like on Tuesdays and Thursdays in Citrix, it's a lovely event actually.
I didn't know about that, maybe.
You should give it like sunshine because it's amazing place.
Are you a cat or
I'm not that good, honestly.
That's better.
Yeah,
It's because it's something like so it's not for like no, they're all professional musicians and
Just really nice.
like other people's players, they can always support you
Because
so
at
you
that
don't
moment,
feel like
Yeah,
abandoned or
yes,
Yeah, I can also. You can hear it like this, and like this is like there. I don't know if you feel the same about the night because like I don't like cold weather, and that's like
well, I'm a genuine like it, so I came here to meet events for
what exercises do you do?
Yeah, what about you?
whatever.
Okay.
So I really like Thursday and
Do you like to play board
I
games?
was in Marble Mountains.
Because I always feel like the client I speak to, they're like, no, what do you think about your it's so different. I like to do training for
And do you have a big family?
No, but you can talk to me.
Okay. Here, do you go to some meetups?
I would like to get to know the host. So what's your name?
Sam.
Sam. Oh,
Also Sam.
also Sam. So I know you by watching so a friend of mine interview
I have a
me
light
to you.
course that I bought.
So you to me like her name is Mina. Mina. Yeah. And she with the guys.
Danny.
Yeah.
Very good friends, yeah.
Yeah. So like she introduced you to me.
Yeah.
And when I was in a time I was stuck
Pushing a bit too hard.
and I didn't know what to do. I just
like feel free and to enjoy.
I don't know. I don't know what to do, and I feel like stuck, and I just go and constantly go to the gym as a escape for like my reality. And today I make it, and I know that Sam is also in this club, right?
Yeah, Sam's a good guy.
So I prefer to be on my own in these cases. But I like to go to
What was your name again?
here.
Johnny.
I used to go along to dancing.
So, so what is this club called? Like the
School of Youth.
How long are you here?
I
School
was
of
here
Youth.
3 months in
Why
summer,
is
and then I went back
you
to
start with the name School?
and I came
Yeah,
back.
School of Youth.
Yeah, School of Youth. I like it because you're learning about yourself and other people.
Okay.
It's psychology, it's neuroscience, it's philosophy.
When is your birthday?
Philosophy.
Yeah, you know psychology.
Psychology,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know neuroscience. How the brain works. Also similar to psychology, but not as much thinking. More like how the body and mind.
Like chemical.
Yeah, chemical.
How chemical work, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and how long have you
And
been
that's
doing
really
this?
where I don't know if
I started doing these workshops
more surrounded with like fire science.
In March.
Yeah,
I started
So it's like
my
like,
best friend
more
that
than,
I grew up with.
I think like
is
9 months. 9 months.
Yeah.
Well, almost 1 year.
Yeah, I like it.
And what is your purpose of doing this?
I really enjoy it. I want to I want to have people be more aware of themselves and being better person in the world. It's very important to have good relationship with yourself. I always say that your biggest enemy is yourself.
I want to make some.
Yeah.
You versus you.
I had a big
Yeah,
business.
so the biggest downfall is yourself.
I make a lot of money. I love to company.
So like
So yeah,
you
but
just
like
go
now,
and
I want to make
just go and sell destructive, like
Yeah.
you know, like
But I like to.
so what is the practice of this game?
We will explain that after, but right now we are just talking about like to find people in here. You want to find like 3 in a row, and then you will say bingo.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so this one
Maybe it will
is
be
next
with
because you already found this
Or
one,
maybe this.
or this one, or this one. Yeah.
I see. So
Indeed.
I think that you maybe some people come to you. They need your help, right? So maybe when they are not able to come and meet you face to face, do you offer them
My friend said to me, "You're always
phone call?
Yeah. I do this
doctors.
like 30 minutes.
30 minutes. How often?
So, like,
how
they're
often
like-
a day?
If you
How
need
often a
a
day?
knee replacement, you come to India.
Sometimes I don't have one any day. Sometimes I have maybe once a day. It's not all the time.
But do people feel like they feel better when you call them? Do people like feel like
I have friends from India.
when do people feel like they feeling better after receiving your call?
Many people tell me it's I want to give everyone my attention, perspective, attitude, shift, something they need to hear, because the conversations that I have with people are conversations that they've never had before. And it's important to have.
Do you consider yourself as a what's the word?
It's like the biggest news for the city. Like when it was kickoff, we had
There's more people who fix other people mental health.
Therapist?
Have you considered? No. Yeah, so
Therapy is
what is
different.
different between what you doing
Very good question.
Because
Therapy is
when I was like, I
you talking,
I'm not your Ukrainian friends a lot.
and you just listening,
Similar mentality, I can say.
and then just giving
And like I met
myself
Katarina, and she
just
just like
observation
I don't know what it was.
and telling you
Why the
what
fuck
you
are we
want
coming
to
to the
hear.
end of the world till here? You know, it's like independent decide.
Ask
China is much better.
Try to make steps into making
And then she told me like,
something different, hold you accountable, and then also tell you what you don't want to hear. So if a therapist hears that you are very sad and depressed or anxious all the time, and you tell the therapist that you're drinking, the therapist will be like, have you thought about not drinking?
So if
A
people
coach
are
would be like,
trying to think that they are city shit, everything is.
when is it gonna be? When are you gonna stop drinking so you stop ruining your life? Because you have been talking about this, like asking very bold questions. A coach wants the best for you, but a coach also looks at what you have been doing already, and it's like, why do you keep doing the same thing?
Actually, my friends, they make
It's like a form of numbing sometimes, and therapy is very common for people. It's like listening and then just like telling them, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like what you expect to hear, but coaching is a pattern. It's like English right now. Yeah, but it's like interrupting. It's interrupting it's making something different. So you will hear something different, and you will feel something different. And so this is a change in your physiology and in your thinking. Where therapy is like if you tell someone, I'm so sorry, you know, I'm feeling bad for you. This is what your friend would tell you.
First apply,
And this is something like not very intense. It's not very strong. And so people
Yeah, things
need
come to you, you know.
bold,
I agree. Yeah.
very powerful
Do
pattern interruptions.
No, I teach
So
online.
like, do you often give like
So I'm freelancing.
how much mental call pay?
Do you charge?
Yeah. So I
Depends.
think
Like if
euros a
yeah.
minute.
No, I charge from I have only one student for basic.
Wow, smart man. Good job.
Amazing. Right
So
now
then you
we
can
have
put,
a big break because he had
did you
like
re-put it here?
Yeah. No. I haven't. I think
like something
I
like
will
this.
try you right.
Do you have like a Russian website where you find students or
We do have this
Like,
website,
other
but
people-
honestly.
Hey guys, if you can try to speed it up a little bit, so we can.
Yeah, so it's more like, you know, people recommend.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah, it's all there. Recommendations. You just
Is it, is it?
Like people during their hot time.
Yes.
and
Yeah, okay, Marinko.
I'm gonna give you guys 10 more minutes
let's rotate.
at max.
Yeah, let's do it. That was really nice.
Okay, I'm gonna go invite other people.
See you, man. If you have 3 in a row, again, just say it's bingo, right? So once the first person gets the 3 in a row, then you can. Oh, you got it? You got 3? Oh, okay.
It's end of the game.
So that means we can stop.
Oh, I was gonna say, Alina, can you
No?
So,
Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
okay. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Amalina.
I'm Johnny.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, so do you like cooking?
No, I'm really like cooking.
Oh, okay.
That's a yes or no question.
Is that? Yeah, that was.
Sorry, it's the first time I play this game. I don't really know how to play it. I just realized that I have to
This is
cross
a game I just
something.
came up with.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's interesting, but it's just learning, teaching yourself how to ask better questions to other people as well, instead of yes or no questions, right? So how would you ask that differently instead, if it was more like a non-yes?
Okay, if you liked cooking, what would you cook?
There, wow, amazing.
I'm an English teacher. I know how to ask questions. I didn't know exactly how to do this.
If I know I'm cooking and like cooking,
Okay.
I would cook for myself I think chicken bread with rice.
Chicken bread with rice.
You can learn from them.
Yeah.
Chicken bread.
And a lot of vegetables.
What cuisine is it? What cuisine is it?
No, it's just like
It's just made up of things.
Vietnamese, yeah.
Vietnamese. So you're Vietnamese, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Could you remind me your name, please?
Johnny.
Johnny. Yeah. So I can find it. Chicken bread.
Right.
So can you buy it
You should buy a lot of places.
Have you ever posted
Too much
yeah.
salt.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Ask me now.
Sometimes it's oily.
Yeah. Okay, but what do you eat then if you don't cook?
If I don't cook, I just mostly eat out. As a local Vietnamese.
Okay. Do you have your favorite restaurants?
Yeah.
Could you recommend any?
Yeah, chicken rice.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly like boiled chicken with rice. And that's it. And also buffet, like rice buffet. You can choose anything like from beef to beef, like vegetables. Like I like to eat
Basic Sunday
and
menu.
also the Chinese restaurant, like the vegan. Sometimes I go to vegan, eat vegan, and sometimes I love meat. Yeah, so I would recommend for my friends.
Okay, that's nice really because I was thinking about any recommendation because I really want to try some more like local cuisine, but I don't. The only thing that I really like from the ones I tried was Miquan. Yeah, I don't really like
No,
Miquan
not
much. No, I can eat it like a lot. But Miquan is something else.
So like different people have different tastes, especially in foreigners. Yeah, so like I think for you guys is
Have you ever hosted an event?
heavy seasoning.
I'm fine with it, really. I don't know, I should try different things because some things I like, some things are too much for me. Like, for example, Miquan is just something amazing, I love it. Especially one place that makes Miquan like
Answer this question, one person and then another.
No, it's like you guys just kind of interact and it's like you can go kind of one at a time, but it's like you have something that you want that this is like the things that you like technically, and so and you're trying to find someone else who likes it as well.
I didn't get it.
It's okay. This is the first time I've done this game. Just came up with it.
In the middle of the forest,
You mean we never met
pretending during that time.
and then it is night camp?
Oh yeah, do something like in the middle of the forest.
I would first guitar. I would take guitar. Yeah, I would have like.
Well, we're about to change to the next thing. We're about to change to the next thing.
Play some
Like you're in the middle of the forest.
Of course, this is the perfect atmosphere for playing it because they can't escape. If they escape, you just. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I mean, you have like evil spirit in the forest.
Or maybe telling some creepy stories at some points, but mostly maybe sharing some fun stories, some fun ups, that we all love. Yeah, but definitely guitar. Yeah, because it's like.
So how long have you played guitar?
Since I turned 17, I am 29 now, so 12 years already.
Guitar teacher or
I teach it sometimes, yeah, when I have some students. But when I have people who want me to teach basic things about guitar, I will teach them. But I'm actually an English teacher, so it's not my main thing to teach guitar. What about you? Do you play any musical instruments? Would you like to learn any?
I would like to learn guitar.
Really?
Because when I was young, like I was during my secondary school, I feel like the class, the boy in the class, the guitar, all the girls like it, and I'm saying, Mom, I want to go have a guitar and learn how to play guitar.
Vietnamese are very musical people, right?
Mostly, but they don't play instruments a lot.
They do. Actually, I highly recommend you to come to the Trip 66 on Tuesday and Thursday. And there are many Vietnamese who play like cajon, guitar, bass, really a lot.
I hate cockroaches.
After 3 months, I don't really enjoy it.
Like they were not
Okay.
Because the teacher only teach me like the song that I really like. I know that is simple, but it's really like not like.
Okay, finish up your conversation.
So what's your name again?
Alina.
Can you spell it?
A-L-I-N-A. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yes, that's me. Where do I look from?
Singer.
Where you from?
Where do I look from?
I was thinking for single.
I thought you already knew that because you were asking her.
Singer or single.
Could be. What country?
Close. Just a singer. You guys can take your spots.
It's a nice try,
Yeah.
but I'm from Russia.
Oh, you're from Russia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
That took way longer than expected. But it's awesome. I like that. I'm so glad you enjoyed that. That was a cool game. I've never done this before. What did you guys? What did you find out? Anything exciting about someone else?
Sorry, I was sitting here earlier, so that's why I just came
Oh,
back.
that's fine. I just.
Sorry.
You find out anything exciting about someone else?
Yeah.
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 Found out that we have Adele in the room.
Adele.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And we have a girl on a mission in Hawaii.
Wow. Who raise your hand if you got 3 across the board? Nice.
So I don't know what to do today.
I just solved it. I think I found out what to do on the at the end of the game. I was like, that was the point.
Well, that's okay. I'm this again. It was the first time I was thinking about this.
That's the cool thing.
It's a cool game though.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of shows you if you didn't have this card, would it be as easy to make these connections?
It was a good segue, right?
Yeah, but if you didn't have the card, would it have been as easy?
Yeah, in this
environment.
I think in this group, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Because we share a lot of common things.
But this is just cool to come up with the things that you wouldn't really think about.
Yeah.
About vegan food, I wouldn't even ask a person who I'm not going, for example, to have meal, but just share experience and for example, the places that we like it was with Jason. Right? So yeah, that was interesting. I mean, I wouldn't because some things, I personally wouldn't really think about bringing up these topics.
Right.
That was a cool map.
I agree. I mean, even if we thought about it, we probably would feel weird to ask somebody a random question because we have a script that we usually follow.
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 questions, but usually it's where are you from, how long have you been done, and it's we all know that it's kind of annoying, but the steps to get to these.
Is that actually the steps to get to those? Because
Sometimes.
I feel like the first layer of intimacy is finding out your interests, right? Mm-hmm. And then the second layer would actually be understanding personality and goals, right? And so it's Ondra, you were shaking your head before. Why did you shake your head when I asked that?
I feel because I've been to many events, I've been speaking to strangers for 8-10 years basically, right?
Yeah.
And now, after we've done this exercise, it feels really easy. But if you don't have a facilitated exercise like this, people really flop around kind of. So this makes connections so much easier.
Yeah.
And when people are it would be so easy even without it, I don't think so.
Yeah, when first comes that silence, a few seconds, people are okay, bye.
Yeah.
But here, do you have ADHD?
Yeah.
But also I feel we were talking about the fact that the people who tend to come to these events come with an open heart and an open energy. And I think it's very easy with this group to have a meaningful conversation. But I think outside of this group, if you're just thinking about meeting somebody in a bar, I think it then sometimes can be a little more tricky to get them to go beneath the surface. Because I personally feel surface conversation is the junk food of our social life, you know, and
Totally.
I always feel like I've been energized and so fulfilled when I can go that layer deeper with somebody. It's like having super healthy salad with lots of different colors,
Yeah.
great tofu and amazing protein, when you can go that layer deeper. And I think, you know, those periods in my life where I've just been surface in conversation and connection, I feel like I'm starved.
Yeah. This is what you just surfaced right there, was the layer of happiness. And why there was a long-term study about where happiness comes from. And basically one of the biggest factors for happiness was how strong of relationships and connection that someone has. And that determines that level of true, pure happiness. And we are just, I mean, how good are you guys at conversation? And in reality, with like kind of just like a person on a day-to-day basis you don't even know. With a person that you've gotten to know, you know, maybe like, you know, you have maybe a week or month or 2 months into your relationship, it's easier. But on that first interaction, for me, it's sometimes a little bit difficult as well. But how easy is it for you? Like, would you be able to think of all these interests? And what percentage of interests are actually similar to yours on this card? Probably 50% at least.
50-50.
So it's like the things that you have interest in are the things that you can create discussion on and talk about. And that was what creates real relationships, right? Because there's something that I looked at, and one of the big factors for loneliness is when we are feeling like we're part of a community. We are a part of the community, but there's actually still a deep sense of not being included in the community. Even though we're in Da Nang, there's a lot of people around, but we're not included, like we're not being acknowledged. And so what does it take to be acknowledged is starting to be a question that you can ask for yourself, because it's different for every one of us. But it starts with like validation, being appreciated. And all these things, these small little micro things lead up to being happy. And the other part about happiness, which we'll dive into, is contribution. And they kind of blend together. So when you're able to have connection and when you're able to contribute, this is where happiness truly can be fulfilled. And this is in a very selfless way, right? You were asking me, I think you were asking me about when it's a rainy day, how can you be happy, or something like this? Yeah.
No, I think those are the answer, because people like expecting like from weather to make them happy. It's like, do you have connection and like where to contribute? Like, that is the answer.
Yeah, right? I mean, there's also some things that we can talk about later on where it's like there's the mental frameworks that you can have for happiness, but in reality, your true sense of happiness will come from giving, and the way that you actually feel like you're being appreciated in your giving. It's very, very selfless, the way that you are giving. Like a mother has unconditional love typically towards their offspring, right? And so that's like what we need to have for other people. But it's very difficult. It's extremely difficult to be in that position. And I've been trying to work on that myself, to have unconditional love. And especially when I'm driving on these streets, it's like as soon as I get out of my house, there's already someone driving on my side of the road. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, how can it's so hard for me to get into a place of unconditional love when I myself am worried about myself. It's this self-obsession. And so that's actually a big factor for where a lot of our problems come from. And it's actually, like one thing I looked at, if you know of this philosopher, his name is Alfred Adler. He talked about the big root of where problems come from is called interpersonal relationships. So all of our relationships with each other. If we were out here alone, we wouldn't really have any problems. We'd just be upset with the weather type of thing. But a lot of our problems come from being able to hold the image up, what we don't like about other people, and things of these sorts. Super deep. You're like, woo! But I'm curious though, on like a day-to-day basis, maybe a week, month kind of thing, are you like 30% of the time happy? Just raise your hand. On a day-to-day, monthly, weekly basis, are you at least 30% happy? Okay.
More.
50?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you're 50. 75? 100?
Nah.
No way.
90? Anyone, what's the max you think you're at? Of day-to-day basis?
What, a day? A day
Yeah.
basis?
Every day. Every day, every week, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Your moments in your life.
I'm 95.
95?
For me, it depends where I am.
Depends.
If I'm in Thailand, it's 100. If I'm in Da Nang with this weather, it's like 30%.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Totally. And it's like the environment is a big factor, right?
For me, yeah.
How cold you are, how warm you are, what you get to wear, and then of course the people, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
people are a huge factor. So you say 95. What is the biggest factor? Like, what is your definition of happiness?
For me, it's like having the foundation first, like having your life, I guess, in order in a way, like having the contribution and like knowing that. But then beyond that is the perspective. Like with weather, for example, like 2 days ago, I was skipping around in the rain barefoot, just like laughing at myself, jumping in puddles, you know. So it's the perspective of, oh, it's raining, it can make me unhappy, or oh my god, it's raining, you know, it's rainy season, yeah, that's amazing, you know. It's perspective, and you can shift your perspective, and it takes a little bit of work, but like when you snap yourself into it, and it's like kind of going back to your inner child and being like a kid. Like when you're a kid and it's raining and it's puddles outside, you go around, you jump into puddle, oh, it's like splashing water everywhere, right? And so if you allow yourself to do that now, then your brain is like, oh, this is amazing, right? So that's like the second part for me about happiness is really, how can I appreciate anything? Like, and sometimes it sucks, right? And you accept, okay, it feels like it sucks now, but can I change my perspective a little bit? Like, can I appreciate this? Practicing gratitude and things like that.
I mean, I can do it for 2-3 days. And if I 1 month without seeing the sun, I don't think it's gonna work, you know. For me, at least, I don't know.
That's so
but
interesting.
yeah, I agree with you. It makes sense, yeah.
What just something that came into my head was like, what percentage of the time are kids happy?
Most of the time.
What percent? Can you give a number?
100.
Maybe.
100? Yeah.
Not happy. Not true.
I
They
think
cry.
it depends on children.
Sorry, a lot of people are talking. Which?
They don't think about the future better and now, so it's
Yeah,
100%.
they're present.
Present.
Yeah.
If they feel shit, they'll just feel it.
Yeah. Children doesn't have anything to worry. Like they live in the present more than they.
What children are we talking
I
about?
know.
I mean, yeah, children also have their worries, they like traumas and things that they go through, but I mean, like, it also depends on the children, like in what conditions they're growing up, because there are like families, like many things are happening now in the world, and I mean, like, families are also being challenging a lot, and many families get divorced, so children, they get traumatized a lot. But I mean, if you compare children and adults, of course, children are happier because they are present, right? But I mean, it's just in my opinion, it's definitely not 100% because children are still people, and people have feelings, emotions. They get upset because there are a lot of challenges. They have to like compete with other children as well, because educational system almost everywhere challenges children to compete, and not all people are ready to compete. I hate competitions, for example.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It depends. Always depends.
It's true. There's different circumstances that other people are living in, but is it possible that the world or you individuals could be happy 100% of the time?
If you are 100% happy at the time, you cannot not realize what is happiness, because if doesn't have like if you wasn't like
It's a very good
you know
perspective.
if you don't know that if you for example if you like live forever you never die
Yeah.
you won't be like happy that I'm still alive today.
You don't have the appreciation
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah,
Right, just
exactly.
like if you're happy 100% of the time, you don't have the real acknowledgement
So,
and
like,
value for
And
happiness.
someday I don't feel like
Importance.
waking up and do anything.
Right.
And like I just try wake up and I still can go for a run.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw like paralyzed people. They cannot go run.
Yeah.
And I saw sick people. I can run in the rain, no problem.
Yeah.
After that. And people are just so sick they cannot go for a run outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is happy. I'm happy because I have the health, the body that some people would dream having. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I share the opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And does the measure of happiness for some people change? So people think, once I've made this change in my life, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And then you get there and you enjoy for a moment, and then all of a sudden you need something else to work towards your happiness. So I wonder for some, and I think I've been part of this in the past, where my happiness perspective shifts. As I get to the point that I've been working towards, or I achieved some sort of goal, or I got a job or a client that I thought would make me happy, or a relationship that I thought would make me happy, and then it doesn't, and of course you then look for something else.
It's a very interesting perspective to have when we're trying to have this like if then kind of statement. And a lot of what we think what we want is like the job or this sort of achievement, and it's really the feelings that we're craving inside of each of those situations. If I want this microphone, the reason I want it isn't just because of the microphone itself, it's because of the freedom or the feeling that I get from having this microphone. And so it's like, if I have a microphone and I'm a podcaster, then I'll be happy, right? But it's really more or less like you don't need a microphone as a podcaster, right? And then it's also like skewing what is actually needed. And then you have to look at what are actually, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What is actually needed? Because I think a lot of us are already past everything else up until the self-actualization part. That's basically where we're all at. We all have everything in this situation right now to be exactly where we're at. We have a job, we have a family, we have people that care for us, we have security and can live in a house, all these sorts of things. Like we're not on the street, and we have clothes to wear, we have food, all these things. And technically, like I from my perspective, it seems like to me in other countries, the people that they are very complacent with a lot of things. It almost seems to me that they're happier than a lot of the Western countries because of this drive for more and more and more and more and more, that it's almost like never enough. It's never like, this is a mental framework of being just okay with where you're at. Like, I have enough. This is a mental framework of like, I am enough, I have enough. I can be enough as I am right now, and I don't need anything more. There's a balance to this, right? Because then there's also some ambitions and aspirations and things you want to accomplish in the world. You want to have a legacy, maybe. You want to have kids, of course. And so how can you start to create what you really want, but also be happy with where you're at and be appreciating every step, hard, easy, or difficult in those times? Right? And I found that there was something really interesting to me. Whenever we're doing some sort of achievement or you're trying to strive for stuff, it's like 1/3 of the time, things suck. 1/3 of the time, things are okay. And then 1/3 of the time, things are fucking awesome. Do you guys feel that? Yeah. Have you seen that happen in your life? A third, a third, a third?
I've never observed that measurement.
Yeah. Does it make sense at least?
Yeah.
Right. It's hard. It was something really recent that I recognized, and it made like the suck kind of feel a little bit better, because it's a perspective, really, at the end of the day. Happiness is only a perspective of like, what can you be grateful for? What can you appreciate? How can I be enough right now? But then also, like, these are the mental frameworks that we want for ourselves, because we want the best for ourselves, right? This is, again, what I mentioned earlier about self-obsession. And the idea is, when we let go of this self-obsession, we can create through connection and contribution, which is something that I've been working on a lot myself. A lot, yeah.
Can you give example of like the 1/3?
The 1/3?
Yeah.
So if I'm working on going to the gym a lot, I guess you could say, we'll start off there. And I would just want to feel good or look good. Maybe that first third of the time when I start going to the gym, I'm going to hurt a lot and I'm going to be very upset with my progress. Other parts of the time, I'm not even going to want to go. And I'm just going to be like, okay, I'm just like going because I just want to go and I have nothing else to do. And then the other third of the time, you're going to be seeing that you're hitting your PRs, seeing that you're achieving amazing figure. You're doing a lot of things that you never thought you'd be able to do. So it varies. And then it's like, once you have that full cycle, and then another full cycle comes.
Oh, I see.
And it's like, it's a mixture that kind of completes itself in its own curriculum, in its own perfect way.
Can we just keep the 1/3 of the good one? The great one?
Well, I would agree. I would love that as well. But like you just said, with you mentioned earlier about this idea of, if you don't know what is bad, then you will never know what is good. And then you have more of appreciation for what is good, right? Because that's what you need, technically. Like, if you are feeling like shit, if you're feeling not good, that's a great thing. Then you'll actually grow, you'll become better, you'll become different, and the biggest point of all is you get to really know the feelings of what it's like to be in the good, and why you appreciate the good so much more, right?
Yeah.
I'll add something as well. I think a lot of the times it's about how fast you let things go, right? And this example of the kids, right? Like, kids are generally more happy than adults, because they just live in the moment, like you said, right? But even if something shitty happens and they're feeling like crap and they're crying and all this, but like 5 minutes later they can be jumping around happy again, and they completely forgot and they completely let it go of whatever happened before. But adults kind of get hung up on, I can't be happy because this is happening and this is my condition, right? Whether it's rain, or not have enough money, or not having a relationship, being single, or being unhappy with your partner, like, it really doesn't matter. But adults get hung up on these things that prevent us from feeling the happiness, whereas kids just let things go. So it's the practice of letting go as fast as possible, and feeling the emotion, but like letting go, right? Not stuffing it away, but just go through it and then be like, okay, I'm done with that. And that's why I say like 95%, because like it comes up, right? It's never gonna be like, it just doesn't come up.
Yeah. What are some definitions that other people have here of happiness?
I mean, I feel like I raise my hand like that. I feel 90% happiness, but I think happiness is not a emotion I'm seeking for. Like, I think it's peace, and like you can make some decision. For example, I left, like everyone, I left my country, left my family, and I'm sad, but I'm in peace, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I still can have sad emotion, I don't know, ugly experience, break up with someone, like, you're not a person for me, but I'm in peace, and I'm happy. So I think it's like totally different perspective. Like I'm happy because I have human experience. Like that's maybe something. So yeah, I'm happy all the time because even when I'm sad, I'm happy because I feel it. I feel sadness.
Wow. And you just like your goal is not really happiness, it's peace.
It's never happiness.
It's just peace
always
because
peace, always
you basically equate happiness as peace.
Yeah.
Like what's most important to you in happiness is peace, right? That's interesting to look at. So that's like kind of like your definition of happiness. Happiness is peace. What other perspectives do you guys have that, or definitions that you have that have helped you in your definitions to being more happy?
For me, it's thinking about how I can actively pursue or create more positive emotions and how I can reduce my negative emotions. Because you can't, I don't feel like there's such a thing as a bad emotion, right? It's like your emotions are your emotions and they're perfectly natural. It's just about how you respond to your emotions. So I try and focus on things which are going to encourage more positive emotions and think about reframing or avoiding or creating boundaries with things that create more negative emotions.
That's powerful. It's something that I've talked about a lot is like the emotions aren't bad or good. They are just, they are. Right? And that is such a powerful idea that is also quite difficult because we have sensatory perception to things in our world. And when we have these senses that come into our stimulus, it can create an idea of good or bad immediately and then creates a reaction. And it's one of the things that is really hard to have happen. But when we are able to know what the emotion is that we're feeling, but we want to feel something different, this is a process of alchemizing, right? Just transferring something into something else. It's not necessarily like a bad thing all the time, but then there's also the aspect of, okay, what I'm feeling right now is not a good thing. It's like you come from it either with, I want to change this and I want to be, I guess you could say, stronger, or it's like, I don't like this, and now because I don't like this, now I want to change it. That gives you a sense of, I'm not okay with where I'm at right now, kind of idea or feeling. And then by changing that, because of that first thought, it's almost saying like you're not good enough what you're feeling, right? And so the idea of to change it is instead with what it is that you're moving towards, what it is that you want, what is it that makes you inspired and happy. These are the things that you want instead. It's not saying that what it is right now is bad. I'm just wanting to be in a better position right now. Because I've put myself in this situation before where because I'm feeling like this and I said, oh, I don't like this right now. Why can't I just be in a better position? Why can't I feel better? That attack on my negative emotion is not a good thing. It's saying that that's not a good thing, and I'm telling myself it's not a good thing, and therefore it's always better to be here. And so then it's telling my brain and my body every time I'm in the bad position, you're going to overreact, you're going to be like this, and it's like the easier way to just be in a horrible place in your life. Where if I'm looking at it in a different perspective, which I've been trying to work on myself as well, of I'm looking at this right now, I'm noticing what it is that I'm feeling. Okay, I understand it. Maybe I can put a little bit of depth to it as to where it came from, why is it like it? If that happens to be the case for me. On other times, it would just be I'm here, I'm feeling this. I don't really want to feel this right now, and I'm okay with that. I'm working on this, but also at the same time, I want to feel this because I'm working towards something that's better, that's bigger, that's important to me, that I have a lot of meaning towards. Is this making sense to you guys? Am I making sense to you guys? Okay, because I'm trying to articulate something that is very hard to describe. And the idea about this, when we're looking for this, I guess you could say, achievement or the thing that we want, there are things that we can do in our physiology and in our mental ideas to actually change it. And that is a practice as well. It's like, how can I change this right now, how I'm feeling, into being something more helpful, I guess you could say. Because I guess you could, in a way, I don't know if I necessarily view like sadness as being helpful, unless you guys have a different perspective. I would view it as something that has just been happening in my life, that I'm giving a response to or reaction to. And therefore, if I don't want to feel sadness, and I understand that I don't want to feel sadness, then I'm going to want to do something like empowerment or gratitude or joy or appreciation. And you can be in these states, you can be in these feelings. You're also going to be in the bad ones. You can label them as, you were just talking about, Jason, you can label them bad or good, but I believe that by mixing them together, it's a healthier process for sure. But when we come at looking at it, like, we're enough as we all are already, and we don't need anything more. We technically don't need it. We can work in the sadness. We can work in the depression. We can work in the anxiety. We can always move with it. We don't necessarily have to change it right now. And by being okay with that, you're already giving yourself this love, this trust that is so needed, because a lot of the times it's not there. And by you being okay with you right now, you can be better already, just by being okay with you right now. That's such a huge step in itself. I went on a tangent there, but did that make sense? Is anything like coming up for you guys while I just went through that? It's a process that I've been trying to develop myself for a long time, because a lot of the times when I was in my younger ages, I wasn't happy with the people I was around. And I would bottle it up. I would bottle it all up. I would say I was happy, and I would put a face up. I would put this image up saying like, oh, I'm all this optimistic, positive person. And then when I'd go home, I'd just be like so alone and feeling like nobody really cared for me. And it was very, very hard because I wasn't feeling connected in the first place. But then also the aspect of I wasn't feeling like I could trust myself and be with myself and okay with myself, because I was also being something for someone else. And that's like what we have to deal with in this world sometimes, right? The role that we live.
Story, the reel, the video. Like most people post only positive feeling and when they're happy. And they share it on the social media, and someday you just feel like not feeling anything, like sad, and you're just scrolling and just see people doing fine, you're not, and just feel like left out and unhappy. And so I saw this quote like, today we are like a sad generation with happy photos. And it just hit me real like, oh, it's the truth. Like, yeah, it's what happening.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It's very true. And it's because of this what I said at the beginning of this idea of loneliness, where we're not actually feeling truly appreciated and connected and acknowledged inside of our community, I guess you could say. Even though the community could be just like your city or your group of friends or your workplace. But we like, the thing about it is we need to live in the world. We can't just be like super spiritual and go off and live in the forest.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, but where are you going to get your connection and contribution, you know?
Of course.
Through God.
Like I'm just thinking about monks, like, but even them, even they have their like community where they like seek for something.
Yeah, they're super selfless though too.
Yeah, and they understand that everything is temporary.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're able to do that, because when we're not selfless, then we need to rely on connection and contribution. When we are selfless, you can be a monk and you can be insanely present and not have any greed or things that you need, worry. Yeah, I mean, you know, but all of it just is, it's a coming and going, right? It's kind of like that. Yeah, but we need to live in the world.
Sure.
So we need to be able to know how to contribute, know how to give, and know how to be with people. I think the biggest form of happiness truly comes from the connections that we have with people. And that's why I love doing group sessions like this, because we can all find each other and be happy with one another, with just in peace with one another, just through just a simple conversation about yoga. Didn't it feel good to talk about this, like just random stuff and just like bond over these sorts of things?
May I?
Yeah.
Yeah, about happiness. I had an idea that if I have to make a connection happiness with something, then I would describe happiness as loving myself, but not just loving myself, but also learning how to like ecologically love yourself through other people, because we still need other people like to learn ourselves, like more about ourselves. And also it's kind of obvious thing that when people like us, we have a little, like when we have more like deeper connections with people, when we have like friends who we can rely on, who responds to our like actions and other sort of things, we kind of feel it a little bit easier to love ourselves. But it doesn't mean that we should only rely on the society in this case, because you should also learn how to do it without other people. If you, for example, feel lonely, you still find the like way how to like yourself, how to appreciate yourself, and how to find way back, not to separate yourself from people because you feel lonely, but also to be able to go back to these connections. Sorry for this very very chaotic thoughts, but this is what I was experiencing actually some time ago, and that is why I stopped drinking alcohol for a while, because I realized that alcohol for me is a way to relax and kind of be more cheerful and funny. And I realized that I didn't know anymore how to have fun in a community without alcohol, because like I kind of felt like I need alcohol because all my friends drink, they smoke and stuff, and I'm like, okay, so I do it, why? And then I realized that I can't do it anymore, and do I actually love myself? Do I do it because I love myself, or because I don't see any other like option? Then I decided to make this experiment to stop drinking alcohol for a while, because I go for these open mic sessions where I have all my friends, musicians, and all musicians are like people who prefer having alcohol while like doing these things. And yeah, I was like, I want to try. And the first couple of moments were very difficult. I felt super lonely. I was like, I don't know what to talk to these people about. Really, like even my close friends, I prefer to have them somewhere, and I was just trying to enjoy. But then I come this moment that actually I don't really need to like separate myself. I can still enjoy myself, like with being like just with myself and feeling happy and loving myself. And I can also be in a company and still enjoy it being sober. So this is an interesting thing.
How do you like to give when you're just yourself?
How do I what?
If you like, so you're talking about not using alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you, because technically you think that you would be giving by drinking alcohol, technically, right? Because that's what everyone else is doing. So it's like you're giving through also doing things that are similar to other people, right? So how are you giving in scenarios like this, or how did you give when you were just being yourself? And this is something for you to all reflect on as well. It's like, how do you give?
I'm not sure what you mean by giving. Giving
Like-
what?
Like
Yeah.
being myself. And,
Yeah.
it's not
That's the point of the
Like-
question. What
like
do
if
you?
I'm drinking with people and they love me because I'm drinking, it's like I'm giving to you my drunk myself,
Right.
things like that.
Right.
And if I stop drinking and I feel good with me in my room, but when I'm with them, I don't feel good, then maybe they are not my people.
You need
Like
to change
I
the
need to
circle.
change people where my giving, meaning myself, is enough.
Because what I mean by giving is like you are the value.
Yeah.
You are the important part. It's like, what are you giving? Are you giving your eyes? Are you giving
Yeah.
your listening? Are you
Yeah.
giving your presence? Are you giving your questions? Are you giving your curiosity? Are you giving your inspiration? Are you giving your power? These are things that people thrive off of, and they feel so appreciated from it. It's like, are you going to feel better by me giving you this stack of cards, or me sitting with you for 30 minutes and just letting you talk about your life? That's more important to you because I'm giving something to you that this has really no meaning. But the fact that I'm giving myself to you in just my purest self, that's what we truly be giving. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is it that you're giving? If you want to share, are you aware of like, maybe we can do an exercise, like the contribution exercise. It's like, what I'll do in the board is I'll say, how do you give? What is what is being received? And then what's like the ripple effect from that reciprocity, from received. It's like, because everything that you give, there's a ripple effect. If I were to sit with you for 30 minutes and I were to be just listening to you, because I've done this and people have just, wow, their entire world changes, right? All of a sudden their problems are released, their thoughts are gone. It's like they can let things out, or just they want to just talk about it. We'll have a regular conversation, because sometimes we just feel truly alone, right? Just from you being able to relieve that, you can just totally impact someone else's life. And that's a ripple effect already in itself. And it's such a small thing, but it's huge. It's huge. So, yeah.
I like this because it's something that I struggle with sometimes, I think. I'm just sharing this because, I don't know, I guess I would like to do some kind of exercise. It'd be interesting to explore this more if you have something.
Yeah, okay. Let's see here. So what we're doing is what I give. Okay. The impact received. And then, I'm not old. Ripple effect, or how it makes a difference. So the idea here is, maybe what we can do is we have just ourselves come up and start to write, like, what do I give? And you can say, like, okay, I gave my grandma, I cooked for my grandma. okay? It's not like you're giving her the food, it's like you cooked for her, the thought of cooking for her. The impact received, she feels like she has time with you, the impact is like being present together. And then how it makes a difference is grandma starts to rave about you to her friends, and her friends like her. Right? Because grandmas love to talk about you.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is so interesting to look at, of when you give something so small, that's yourself, and then how it impacts the person directly, but then how that person is then impacting other people. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Does anyone have something that they would like to give? So if you could, maybe if you have an idea, just like one and one, you can kind of like think about this, and then we'll all like look at this afterwards. If you have, you can think about it for a second. And if you have one, then you can come up and say, okay, this is what I give. This is how it's received. Yeah? Cool beans. I'll move this. Attention's big. I'll leave these here.
So what is the last one?
How it makes a difference, like the ripple effect.
Kindness, less judgment.
Less judgment.
So you're giving something, how it's being
to someone.
Yep. What you're giving to someone, how do they receive it?
Yeah.
And then how it actually makes a difference
For them or for me.
But once they receive it, how does it ripple? How is it even spread further? So it could be for you or for other people.
I see. So both.
Mm-hmm. Like an example I could put here would be like,
Your turn.
I share some skills. I share some skills. The impact received is someone learns something new, and then the big difference is they go out and use the skill and changes someone's life, something like that.
I see.
This could be basically what you can call like a contribution circle. What do I call this? Contribution ripple.
Whoa, I cannot read your
Oh,
butterfly.
Butterfly.
The butterfly effect.
Yes.
Positivity.
Positivity.
I'll try. I'm scared. I don't actually know what to do. I just know the first part. But I don't know.
Can you read that? We realize we all relate
and realize we can help and support each other.
Mm-hmm. Anyone can think of one more? Oh, Mark is dying.
No shame.
Okay, I'll take them.
Not on me. Okay.
Then. How can I say it? I know, wait.
Yeah, there's a
Erase it.
Come on, people. Not people, markers. Sorry. Again, energy. And then,
energy transfers.
yeah, and then, we enjoy time together. Again and again.
Cool. Are there a lot of more things that you could give, but it's just the other two that are harder to recognize?
Yeah.
Like what if you could just list out other ones that you could give? Maybe we don't need to go through the other two, but just like blurt out things. Like skills?
Like
Knowledge.
skill sharing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, inspiration.
Inspiration.
Motivation, music.
Honesty.
Ideas. Sharing
Ooh.
ideas.
Well, I heard one before. It was like, maybe it was these two. Yeah.
Music.
Oh, music. That's what it was.
Love.
Yes, we love.
Of course.
Look at how many things we can give. Do you think if we really thought about it, we can know what the impact is and then the ripple effect, right? Yeah. You were having a hard time for a second. You were like, but then it came to you. It just came to you.
Support.
Sense of humor.
Yeah. I think these two really are the same also, like with support. Because these are all kind of like they involved in a different context. But this is like, we can give so much. We can contribute in so many ways. So many ways. And this, just through this giving, we actually already can feel a sense of connection. And that inevitably will also help us feel happy. There's so many ways how it makes a difference. And I think by just noticing and recognizing this, makes it all the reason why you want to give. Because not only does this happen and you're making a difference, you're also, in the laws of giving and receiving, you're going to actually get something back. Because just as you breathe, you're also going to breathe in and out, right? So there's this law of you breathe in, you take, and then you also give to the plants. Just like the plants take in when we breathe out, they give us when they breathe out, or what they release. So it's so powerful when we can recognize how we can give, how we can connect, and then of course there's a side of being selfless that is kind of the mental frameworks that we've talked about here, and just the time that we spent today. Is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss on about happiness that we didn't cover?
Did you share your definition of happiness?
Yeah. My definition of happiness is, it's almost as similar to success, where I view myself being happy when I can overcome myself, and I can just be here with myself. And the idea is like, because I'm a recovering awkward person, I guess you could say, and this is something that I've been working on for a long time. And so this entire year for me was like super self-love. But if I could just identify the sentence in what happiness is defined for me, I would say to let go of the need to be better than yesterday, even though we already are it's already happening, because change happens automatically. And I know that I've worked on myself so much that it just happens automatically anyways, and it will happen to you as well. So that's, yeah, just I'm really focused on letting go of my obsession with myself. So that's my definition.
So do you think it's a state of mind? So you accept, doesn't matter what happened to you, you just accept it and that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I do believe that happiness is a state of mind, and it's not necessarily like where you're living or who's talking to you or things like that. At the core, it's like, it can be just through complete disillusion of the self, detachment from what it is that you want. And this is just pure giving instead. No need for gaining anything. Like that, it's not even on the point of interest. It's just going to happen automatically.
So it doesn't matter external factors or
yeah.
like,
it's something where I'm working towards, right?
It's about, and I know the example is not the best, maybe it's a bit like some kids in Africa, they don't have like any like conditions.
Mm-hmm.
They live in horrible conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they should be happy just by that? There is no like any light for them, or
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they have they still have people that care about them, because they, for the most part, they still have the ability to play sports, and like they have the ability to run and to walk and to breathe and to, I mean, yes, they don't have all the time to eat or to drink water or to have the best shelter in the world, but I think the fact that we're just living is a great perspective to have that can create happiness in itself, especially in those dire circumstances.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just by having life, that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a definition that you can create for yourself, right? Like
right.
Just having life, it's like something that you can be happy for.
Yeah,
you don't need to have all the food in the world.
So it doesn't matter what life you have, or
yeah.
you wanna say?
Huh?
Like, it doesn't matter if your life, I don't want to say sucks, but like, but yeah, some people really, I saw many people that they struggle through life.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, it's like painful for them. So you think they should be still happy?
I think they
or
can.
Like sick people that they have like terminal illnesses, do you think that they should be still like happy?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what happened to them?
It's all benefit in some way. It's all benefiting you in some way. There's always something to learn from or to gain from. Like there's people who have gotten burned to the complete edges of their body, and they're doing live presentations and shows for people all around the world who have still been alive. And the story that you are going through right now is a true testament of your power, of what you can inspire others with. And it's so powerful. Like you can inspire and you can help someone so much just by being yourself and going through and living every single day. It's the perspective of that is unmatched.
Yeah, true.
It's hard to remember that sometimes, I know.
I guess
Yeah,
only like small percentage of people can do that actually. It's hard. I don't know
I
what
mean,
you
if
think.
you stuck in life, you don't have no progression, and like you don't keep your promise to yourself, and you just are you happy the way you are?
Yeah. Me?
Yeah.
You asking me? Yeah. I mean, of course, there are things that I'm unsatisfied with, but just because I'm unsatisfied doesn't make me unhappy. There's a difference between satisfaction and happiness. Because I can be happy but still unsatisfied. That is a good thing if you're unsatisfied. That means there's room for improvement. There's room for change and room for growth. Room to make a difference. So the perspective of happiness is only simply just a being, a state of mind. A state of being within your feelings, within your thoughts, and sometimes within your actions too. Everyone, how do
you achieve that state of mind if you have a huge problems? Like, I don't know, like examples I just told you.
Well,
how do you get there?
It's a big question.
Is it possible for us to use, like, because I don't want to say, I think your example is perfect, but we don't really relate to that. So it's kind of like, for me right now, I'll be honest, having that example is like nice, but you're making up what they might be feeling, you know?
Yeah, very true.
So maybe we can, I think it's important what you're saying, but maybe we could find another example that's more realistic. And it might be embarrassing because it might be a small problem. It's easier for us to be like, oh, there's people in Africa that have no shelter. But the truth is, everyone has different challenges. And they're smaller, but it's hard to admit that they're that hard. Because I think that for me recently, I've had that happen, and I think it got me into a pretty dark place of isolating myself. And now I'm having all of this anxiety and regret about decisions that I made because I wish I would have opened up more. But I was embarrassed about feeling the way I felt and had shame and guilt. So this is the thing. It's like there's more to it than just be happy and just appreciate. So I
didn't give other examples because I think many first world problems are not real problems.
But they are real problems.
That's why.
They are real problems.
Yeah, they are maybe. I think.
They're real.
Yeah, I think the problem is because we make our whole identity about one emotion. Like nobody is happy, nobody is sad. Person, like we have happy moments. Like children in Africa are hungry but have happy moments. And then we ask ourselves, oh, why? Like they have nothing but they are happy. Yeah, because they just have happy moments and like they are present. And like it's not again about food. It's like basic needs. You talk about hierarchy. It's like I think we're talking about different things. Like having food and being happy. It's like you can be hungry and have happy moments. Like
I think we go through this like we double check this hierarchy of needs like every day.
Yeah.
We kind of go through this subconsciously. We don't even recognize it, and therefore it kind of almost says in our mind if we're happy or not based on our level of acceptance within this hierarchy of needs. You know what I mean? It's like it's a thing that we just do as humans automatically, where okay, we have this, we woke up, okay, we have this, we have food, okay, great, we have someone to talk to now, okay, great, now we can contribute, okay, great, do I feel good about myself? And then that's like the last part. And then there's other people who don't actually have these problems, like maybe the people in Africa, I don't know, they don't have these problems of self-actualization, they just have the problems of like shelter, food, and connection, and like being able to have family. And so like once they can kind of maybe get through those things, it's like this maybe doesn't matter to them as much. I'm not sure, like to your...
Yeah, and I just want to say, I'm sorry if I didn't mean to cut you off. I was more just like, I really enjoy what you were bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And I was hoping we could explore it in a way that we can relate to it. So I apologize.
I know, it doesn't have to do anything with you, obviously. You don't live there, so yeah. But anyway, that was an example because not just kids in Africa, but like in many parts of the world, like there are like people who don't have any conditions. Like in Hong Kong, they have cages homes.
I saw that documentary.
Yeah, it's horrible. I watched the documentary. People said, "Oh, what's like? What do you want from life?" They said, "I'm just waiting to die."
Oh, Jesus.
So how they can be happy? That's just example.
I think they have happy moments, but in general, they are not happy with their life.
Can't be.
So that's what I mean. For me, being a happy person is I make progress in my life, like day to day, and grow myself as a person. If I'm stop growing, I know I'm going like backward. I will be unhappy, unsatisfied with myself. So I think it's you have to work to be happy. I think if you don't take action and just I feel happy, I have this, I have enough, I feel happy. You have to take action to feel like fulfilled and happy. That's what I think. So like if you are obese and you're like, I'm just having this food and I'm happy, I can sleep, I'm happy. If you are not going to the gym and change your weight and change your diet, you are not going to be happy in general.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a sense of what you're talking about because I've
so like for me it's different. So for me, like you just got to like accept that you are now in a state of unhappiness and sadness, and so what can you do to change it? How can you take a small action? Like, so people are just thinking like, oh, how can I change this? So it's so big problem for me. How I change this? I can never change it, but we can also do small adjustment.
Yeah.
Like dream big and make small step. Like just building, like just to wake up early, like 15 minutes earlier than yesterday. And do some stretches, or like 5 minutes meditate is a good habit to build, and it's a small step to being happier as a person.
It's a great question to ask. Like, what can I do about it?
Yeah,
it's a really good question.
What action can I take to be better? So I asked that question, and like it come to mind. Oh, got to go to the gym. Yeah. So like that.
Your problems will be, once your problems are solved, that's a form of happiness.
Yeah.
And you accomplish some problems, there's a switch of happiness in there,
Grow as a person. Yeah.
Wow. We talked about all that. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to add something I found super helpful on my path to happiness was thinking about I show up for my job and I make sure that I am delivering for my boss. And I thought, actually, if I take that energy and apply it to the project that is my happiness, I found that a super useful way to get closer to happiness. And then you think about all of the small steps that could make a big difference. So things that made a really big difference in my life was, I recognize that I am a reflection of the 5 people closest to me. It's like, okay, if I look around and I see people who aren't giving me good energy and who I'm not really enjoying their presence, what can I do about it? If I am watching a horror movie or scrolling through a social feed which is showing up with lots of negativity, and I'm watching the news about things that I have no control over, it's like that was negatively impacting on my happiness. So I made a happiness project, for want of a better word, which is, okay, who do I need to stop following on Instagram? Who do I need to spend less time? Who do I need to spend less time with, and who do I need to spend more time with? And just taking the things that I can control, that I know will make me happier. I know going to yoga makes me happier. I know walking in the sunshine is something that makes me happy. I know living on the beach makes me happy. It's like, okay, these are things that I can control, and they will have an impact on my happiness. and you were mentioning like the small things you can take, but I think the accumulation of the small things can impact in a big way if you're doing it mindfully.
Yeah. So yesterday I just watched some YouTube video, and I saw like bunch of ad video and like
bunch of ads?
Ad video and just like nonsense on TikTok video, and I just like I don't like this, and I just like have a filter to my YouTube, and I think if you can do this for all the things in your life, can be better. Like, should I go get a like burger, or do I get a like vegetable, like fruit, and you can filter this, but we doesn't filter. Like we in our life we just have so much option and we just choose because I think I like it, but does it make you feel better or like happier?
But sometimes you don't know.
Yeah, sometimes we doesn't realize.
Try, see like if it really makes
so like when like you went driving, you are not like, oh, I want to go this way. Like your something else are like drive the bike for you, not yourself. Like, I mean,
there's an autopilot sense.
Autopilot.
That's wow.
So today I think like, maybe I just stay at home, like try to meditate and or like watch some YouTube, or I just join this meeting. What will make me better, like grow as a person? So I choose to be here and talking to other people, and also have a chance to practice my English. And I think it will help me better to grow as a person, I think.
I agree. We're all on that path, right? Trying to become something better, and it helps everyone else by us being better every single day. There's always a ripple effect just through your own growth. It's not actually just for yourself, it's for other people, really. So I have already taken up a lot of your time today. Went over a little bit of time, but I'm glad this was a very important conversation to have. And it's probably something that you probably don't talk about with a lot of people. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. I've really enjoyed the depth with what we talked about today. And thank you all for being a part of this, what we did here today. I would really recommend, right after this, I wanted to do this, but we didn't have time. Send a text to someone you're grateful for. Just one person. Send a text to someone you're grateful for and tell them all the reasons why you're grateful for them. And that's simply it. And maybe you can make a habit out of it and do it every day. That can be a little bit harder, yeah. I've tried that, it's hard. But it's creating gratitude and it's putting an effort out there. So
like saying like thank you a lot.
Why are you grateful for them? Why do you appreciate them? What are you thankful for? What have they done for you? What have you done with them? Things like that. What do you appreciate? Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.